Be sure to subscribe and click on the bell for notifications on future uploads. Hello everyone, Bart here, or you can call me Sully. Well, it's time for me to review another movie that I saw in theaters, and this time it's based on a popular video game franchise. Which I never really actually played, but I have seen gameplay of it, so I know a little bit of it. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this movie, and even a brief review on two other movies that are similar to this. Almost. Now it's time to look over another anticipated movie from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. One based on a franchise I'm familiar with, but just enough of it, and is better than the early film versions, Mortal Kombat, based on a video game created by Ed Boon and John Tobias. The story centers on a fighter named Cole, who has a dragon marking on his chest, to which he believes is a birthmark. But an ex-soldier named Jax informs Cole that the marking means he's been chosen to fight for something more, as he has the same marking. Cole's told to go to Jax's partner, Sonya Blade, who explains that the marking is an invitation for the greatest fighters to compete in a tournament known as Mortal Kombat, that takes place in a realm called Outworld. But Cole says he isn't as great a fighter as he once was, and as he journeys with Sonya to find an ancient temple that leads to Outworld, the two come across other fighters who are chosen for Mortal Kombat, such as Kano, Liu Kang, and Kung Lao. And the lightning god, Lord Raiden, hopes Cole will find his inner strength in training to let out his true power. All the while, the ruler of Outworld, Shang Tsung, is letting his right-hand fighter, Sub-Zero, to kill every fighter with the dragon marking before Mortal Kombat begins, and also enlists other fighters to aid him, including Mileena, Reptile, and Prince Goro. Director Simon McQuaid has made a nearly solid adaptation of the popular video game franchise, with fine characters, a fine enough story, fun effects, and great action. And I say nearly solid adaptation because one or two portions of the games are missing or not quite close enough. And I haven't played the games myself, but I've seen enough gameplay to know what's what. Plus, a major plot of the story is standard and cliché, and there's moments that I may not be familiar with as a non-player, and one or two instances that would have had more impact or needed further addressing. However, despite all of that, the action is surprisingly good, and always bloody and gory mayhem. Every bit of it works well, and the effects that go along with it are beneficial. And I gotta say, I did watch the original two 90s adaptations a couple of weeks ago, and for the first time. And while the lack of blood and gore didn't bother me, both films are not good. As the first film felt forgettable and lame, including the computer effects on Reptile, despite some decent action, and the effects of Goro are so good that it blends the line of stop motion and animatronic. And the sequel is worse, with horrible effects, changing of actors, complex storylines, and things from the game made worse. So overall, the 2021 version is better than the previous films, for its effects, action, its blood and gore, and one or two characters. Yet it's also wrapped up in a cliché storyline and a couple of moments that needed more explanation or attention. So today I'm giving this movie a rating of 2.5+ stars. And Mortal Kombat from 1995 will get 2.5- stars, and Mortal Kombat Annihilation will get about 2 stars. And that is it. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, support me on Patreon, and until next month, for I get to talk about the first 5 movies of the DCEU.